Talk about dedication. Spending 7 years to build a car, especially for your wife and your mum, is a labour of love.
Yeah, probably need to reevaluate my priorities. I think it's just cars where we are. But yeah, it's definitely a labour of love. And I think, you know, as a family that compete, one thing we've always really struggled with is getting everyone comfortable, everyone sat in a car. The other thing is we want a bit more control maybe over the spending or the way we develop the cars. So I think the plan has been to create something different, something that suits us as a short family. Yes. With an average height of about 5'4". Sure. But particularly focusing on getting Debbie and Mum comfortable. So yeah, just a labour of love. It's something I've always wanted to do. It's an itch that I needed to scratch from about the age of 10. So.
Well, you scratched it well. It's beautiful and beautifully built. Debbie, does it drive nicely?
Yeah, I mean, I've only just had one go at it this morning, so I can't really say too much just yet. But the first go out, it was absolutely brilliant to actually show Alex that the car is moving with me in it. I think that was a huge achievement and quite a bit of a moment for him. So that was quite nice to see his face when I got back down the hill. But yeah, it was absolutely brilliant to drive, and I can't wait to give it a few more goes this afternoon.
And it's got some power, hasn't it, with the 2.5 Cosworth engine? Yeah,
quite different to what I'm normally used to in the 1100 DJ Firehawk. So obviously that's going to be something I have to get used to on top of a completely new car.
Is it less gear changing?
It's pretty much the same, actually. Really? So that was one thing I actually didn't have to think about. But obviously, corners approach a lot quicker. Yeah. So that's probably one little change.
Push a bit harder on the middle pedal.
Absolutely, yeah. But one of those things that I'm willing to learn and get used to, and hopefully I can do a few more events in it this season.
And has Alex achieved the aim of making it comfortable for you?
I would say so, actually. I mean, I've got a new seating position to what I'm used to. I'm normally sitting quite high up in the Firehawk, whereas I'm completely almost lying down in this. Yeah. So it is a different position, but at the end of the day, my father-in-law, Richard, made me a lovely, comfortable seat. So it is, in a way, comfortable.
So who's done all the hard work? Alex, you've done a lot of it.
Well, so the design was me, and we had a lot of help from DJ and Cam Sport, who you can see on the back wing, in terms of checking over principles and so on, and then the assembly of it. We've all had a bit of a go, really. I mean, it's probably been me who's been driving the tempo, but for example, Dad and Debbie did that floor. I did that one. I think Mum did that side pod. Mum does the nose cones because she's the best. I gather she's brilliant at that. She's very good at it, and it kind of needs to laying up pre-preg and getting it's a really accurate thing, and getting the bags right and so on. So obviously that's the crush structure for the front of the car, really. It's much like a crush can on a road car. Sure. So I would say the graft, you know, Dad is a force of nature. He's just brilliant at getting things done. You know, it's like hard to describe, but it's like that needs to go there, that needs to come here. And then a guy called Mark helped us fabricate the chassis. So yeah, maybe I've done more kind of sleepless nights at the CAD, but from the build point of view, I'd say it was pretty 50-50 really. And did you have to go outside to buy components in? Yeah, so the engine and gearbox and rear suspension is donated from the Firestorm. Yeah. Much of the wiring and steering, like this steering wheel, for example, you can see still the DJ logo because, you know, it ain't broke. Sure. And it's good stuff. And I think I wanted to limit the amount of sort of uncertainty or risk in the project. But I had a donor car, a donor Formula 4, when all we ended up nicking was like the steering column and the brake. So everything you see, body, CAD, everything like that, is all us. Every single bit of carbon, apart from the wings and the back of the floor, was done by us. And aerodynamics, any CFD, or was it not wind tunnel stuff? I have a CFD consultant now, a very clever chap called Nathan. But up to that point, it was a blag. But it's worked. Yeah, so there's some complex bits on this. So you can see the barge boards that are by my shins, and it's all about, you know, aerodynamic management, and it's a bit more ground effect than some of the other cars. Works the floor really hard. So there's some engineer. I mean, I'm an engineer by training, so it's not. I suppose you call it an educated guess, although that might be a little bit. And it's space frame, but is it reinforced? Yeah. So the space frame was done as a Mark 1 to really give me the freedom to go, oh, that's no good, I need to change that. So welding things on is easier. Sure. Getting the hard points right for the tub is difficult, but this is a very stressed skin, so, you know, there's a lot of carbon there, and there's a sort of anti-intrusion plate made out of carbon and aluminium under the driver's backside. So it's a semi-stressed skin. I think it's sort of 6 or 7 kilos of carbon just in this body bit.
Overall weight about 400?
No, this is 450, so it's about the same as a Firestorm, but the V6 is lighter than the V8. So I think these are sort of 425, 430, so we're about 20 kilos over. For a Ferris chassis, I'm reasonably pleased with that, I think.
And Debbie, you've only got one run to comment on, but getting it off the line wasn't difficult?
No, it surprisingly felt like the firewalk, to be honest. I managed to get away and did a 2.2 off the line, so it was a really good start to the first run. So yeah, hopefully I can get a bit more of the feel of the car for my next run and do a bit better time.
Does the engine pull nicely from fairly low revs?
Yeah, I didn't really put that many revs down because I wasn't really sure how much I should really be doing, so I thought I'd keep it low at the moment, and that seemed to work quite nicely. So I feel like I've got that bit down and I can work on the rest of the hill now.
Yeah. Alex, did the engine come straight out of a Firestorm and into this, or did it need a rebuild?
Yeah, I think new bearings and conrods and pistons were... It had done 4 seasons at a bit of an accident at Gersten you may have heard about. But essentially, yeah, I mean, I've changed a few things, but it's basically the same.
And now Cosworth a help?
This is actually done by Trevor Morris.
Oh, right.
So Trevor Morris now owns the rights to the KF. So it's technically now a TME KF, not a Cosworth KF.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cosworth do all the engine stuff on the Firestorm, so they are good. But they love it because a lot of the guys who run Cosworth now were apprentices when these engines were being run in period. So they're like, oh wow, KF, that's really exciting.
But it's a pretty shape. It's turned out really nice and elegant. Who chose the colour? Because it's a lovely colour.
Ah, come to me. Well, Alex always wanted to go for a blue, didn't you? Yeah. And so you went for a Ford blue.
I thought I was getting electric blue, and I paid the man, and he mixed all the paint. He's like, that's 240 quid or whatever. And I opened the lid and I went, oh, it's too late now. And then we laid down, so we painted ourselves. So we laid down some colour in the garden. It really grew on us, and it's quite unique. So it's a Ford Gentian
violet.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not big on horticulture, but Ford Gentian blue, which is similar to the Porsche variant of that. So yeah, it's a really nice colour. I just completely, again, another blag, a lucky guess, really.
Well, congratulations. It's been, as I said earlier, a labour of love, but it's turned out so nicely, and I'm sure you and your mum are going to have a lot of fun in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't wait. Me and Lindsay do have an event planned for near the end of the season to jump in together. Right. But me and Alex will, no, obviously not at the same time, but on the same weekend. Yeah. And then me and Alex are potentially jumping in together at Lowton Park at the Midland round very soon.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both. Lovely car.